boy, you go down south and termites aren't they're not just a notion. They're everywhere. You drop a toothpick and a
Right.
little white hand will come up and pull it under. Their view of our industry was that we were a bunch of charlatans. Just a whole world of insects are out there. They're all different. The design is so close to art.
Have you thought about the impact you've had on this industry?
My prayer was, let me be someone who helps move this industry into the next century, not knowing if it was ever anything I could achieve or even get close to.
Welcome back, everyone, to Beyond the Pest. I'm your host, Jen Sweeney Ingram.
And I'm Mike Thome.
We got to interview Mark Shep Sheperdigian. Shep is the Chief Science Officer at Rose Pest Solutions out of Madison Heights, Michigan. He's got about 40 plus years of pest control experience, and what a fantastic human that is gracing our earth. So we love hearing from Shep. Any chance we get to talk to him is a good time. Please enjoy this talk with Shep. You look very studious.
You do. I feel like I should go run and put a coat on. I'm the only one who doesn't have some sort of like second layer on.
Oh, there we go.
currently.
Well,
Go get one of your sweaters.
Exactly. I should
You
go
love
grab one
those.
real quick. So,
Yeah.
but awesome.
Well, Shep, it's good to see you. Good morning.
and it's a good morning, isn't it?
It is. We were just talking about the ice storm here in Nashville and the -16 feels like temperature in Ohio where Mike is. So
Oh, yeah. Well, -16.
That's the feel like temperature
yeah,
currently
yeah.
with the wind chill. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, here we're
Not
in
exactly
the
like it's
single digits or hovering. It's not good, but we're probably wind chill there as well.
so I was telling Jen this morning, I was driving to the gym and like you hit the windshield washer fluid and it like instantly freezes on the windshield of your vehicle
Yes,
when you're
it is
driving. So
not
there's
good.
really no point in even no, not at all. It makes it hard
you
to see.
didn't do that, did you?
I did. Well, you know what?
Legal.
Because now all the salt is down, so you get like this film over your window of the salt and the other de-icing agent they put down, so you can't see through that. So you try to clean it off, but as soon as you hit that, the windshield washer fluid freezes on the window. So then you have this salt layer and then a layer of ice on top of that. So it makes driving, stay in the
It's the
south.
most wonderful time. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess we're past that season, but
we are. I have
yeah.
to tell you. So I don't know if you remember this, Shep. The very first time I met Shep, Shep was wearing a mask of Shep. Do you remember?
Yes,
do you
I do.
remember your Shep?
Those were in the
Yes.
in the COVID days, and you had to wear these
Yes.
masks. And I thought, you know what? If you got to do this, let's have some fun. So I was looking at the site that had printed masks, and one of them showed a bright smile and a big mustache. And I thought, you know what? So
It's me.
it's me. I got around here somewhere, but those were different days, weren't
Yeah,
they?
it was the university. That was the first. I think it was the very first University of Kentucky directors retreat that Zach had.
Oh,
Does that sound right?
yes, it does. It could have been.
Yeah.
It would have been
Yeah. I think that's
20 or 21.
2020. Yeah, back then. So, but I just remember I sat down and I looked to my left, and there's a guy wearing a mask, and it had the smile and the mustache, and then the mask came off, and the smile and the mustache was still there. So, yes, that was my first time meeting Shep in real life. So, but
Yeah, you can't not like
Yeah.
Shep. You know,
Right.
it's no wonder, Shep, that you made it so far.
When did that
Your
work?
sparkling personality and the work ethic, sure, but sparkling personality. So we appreciate you
That's
coming
right.
on
You
today.
want to be a positive influence on the on any environment you're in.
Because what's the point of coming into work every single day if there's no
Exactly.
fun
If this
at
isn't
all?
fun, I don't want to do it.
If we're working with bugs and we're taking ourselves seriously, it's like you got to have some fun in there too.
Oh, no doubt about it.
It's just,
No doubt about it.
yeah.
plus, I always think like I feel bad for those folks that wake up in a bad mood every day. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine having to go through your whole day just being miserable? Like, that sounds awful to me. No desire for that whatsoever.
I've often contemplated the people who you talk about, how's your day going or how you doing? Oh, it's Monday. Man,
Yeah.
if Monday's a downer because you got to go back to work and the only good days are Friday and Saturday, that leaves you with 5/7 of your week that are a real downer. I couldn't live like that.
No. Find some joy, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's the goal. Get up, find some joy every single day.
Yeah.
So,
Well, life's a bitch and then you die.
yeah,
No,
it's a
life
terrible way to go
life
through.
is great and then you go to heaven.
Yeah, right?
That's what my boss, when my first job was at a flower shop. I was a florist, and that's what the boss would say every day. You know, what a conundrum to work in a
Yeah.
flower shop and
It's
have that added.
Yep, what you see depends on where you stand.
Yeah. So, Shep, last year, you are now, as of last year, you are the chief science. What is
Chief
it?
Science Officer,
Officer.
C-level, baby.
What is that? What does that mean?
Oh, that's
What are you doing?
well, it's C-level. So Chief Operating Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Executive Officer, those kinds of things. Chief Science Officer is a position where you've been around a long time. It's not entry level.
No.
It
Those of us with technical in our title, I'm a little jealous. That's amazing. That's something to attain to.
Well,
Also, it's got a little bit of a Star Trek vibe to it, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
no doubt about it. And Spock was Chief Science Officer, or he was Science Officer, I guess is what he was, Science Officer.
Yeah.
So, but there are other Chief Science Officers out there, and they tend to have their responsibilities focused around the scientific aspects of what the company does. That's what I do. So it really kind of fits. I had the privilege of being named Vice President of Technical Services relatively early on. I'd been there for, I think, 8 years or so. And I had that position forever. I was technical director before that, which I thought that's the title. That's the cool thing. But can't just leave people
It's
in one
enough.
place.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So, how did Shep's journey into the industry start? Like, was this like I said, we talk all the time. Like, most people I know didn't grow up saying, "Hey, I want to be in pest control." Right?
Can we hear about Shep's childhood? I'm actually dying to know.
I am.
What was your childhood?
How did Shep end up here?
I don't know if I can see just a little bit of me. I'm number 2 of 5, so second son, which has all kinds of historical significance. I have an older brother who is 20 months my senior, and he excels at absolutely everything he does, everything he touches, which left me number 2 everywhere and in all senses of the word. It was a year behind him in school. I grew up as Doug's brother, and that wasn't going to be me. I wasn't going to do that. So if he did it, I didn't. With one exception, we were both in the music. We both studied music, but other than that, yeah, I ran away from it. Biology wasn't big for him, so it was huge for me. And I grew up in the woods as a little boy, and we had an old farm in Hamburg, Michigan, in a small town in Michigan, and I grew up climbing trees and rolling over rocks. And so when it came time to decide what are you going to do, I went biology, and ended up at Michigan State studying just biology. Took my first entomology course, and that was it. This is fun, and ended up changing my major to entomology, spending in one extra year and became an entomologist because that's what I loved. Did not.
What was it about that class? What was it about that class in particular? Was it the teacher? Was it the insects themselves, or was it the work involved? What did you like about it?
Well, it's always about the professor, but having spent a lifetime looking at little creatures, it was easy to get excited about it. There are so many, and when I came home from my very first course, or at least from systematics, and one day sitting at the kitchen table, uh, a fly hits the window, and my father and my brother are with me, and I pointed at the fly and I said, "That is a syrphid, family syrphidae. You can tell. It's got a little vein in the wing that doesn't start anywhere and doesn't end anywhere." And of course, my older brother, who doesn't let much go by. Well, let's take a look. And really hard to see because you got to get like a mic. How do you know this? I learned it in college, he said. I didn't learn anything in college. He said, I learned how. He was a history major. He said, I learned how to learn. And he was excellent then, and he's excellent now. And if he needs to learn something, he can do it. And that's what he learned. But I learned that just a whole world of insects are out there. They're all different. The design is so close to art, which is very dear to me. There's so many different colors and shapes and sizes. And when you take systematics, you can put just about anything to family. And there's 100 families that you learn or more. That was the fascination, but I didn't know what an entomologist did.
What about art in your life? How do you play music, or do you
I do. I
yeah.
play music. I buy instruments I can't play.
Do you have a cool wall setup?
Uh, no, not really. But there's a banjo and a guitar and an electric guitar and an ukulele, and there was a
Cool.
mandolin, but it needs to be fixed. And that's what the banjo. Why do you play the banjo? Because Doug played the guitar. Um,
Oh.
so
My father played the banjo and he wanted me to learn, but instead of hands-on lessons with him, I remember he stuck me in a chair in the living room with a cassette, and he played the cassette, and it was a lady, and she had said, "All right, pick up the banjo, step 1." And I think I lasted all of 2 minutes and threw it away. But it's on my list, by golly. I will learn it someday, Dad.
what a happy
Now
instrument.
you just go on YouTube. Now he's go on YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube anymore.
True.
You can.
True.
So you're a big opera guy too, Shep, right? I feel like at some point in time, I got into a vehicle with you and you were listening to Wagner.
Oh, may have been, although it's more likely
He
it
was just trying to show up.
was Karl Orff, Carmina Burana. I
Maybe that's what it was. Okay, all right.
have a relatively eclectic music interests. So yeah, classical to jazz, big band, rock and roll, folk.
Nice. All right, so we're at Michigan State. We decide that we love entomology, and I feel like when you're in academia, we as an industry don't do a great job of marketing to the folks in academia that industry is an option for them. How did you go from that to the industry portion of your career?
Well, this was in the 80s, and this was I graduated in 1982, and I didn't know what entomologists did, so I did what any Midwestern slacker would do. Let's put off unemployment for a few more years. So I decided if I'm going to go on in entomology, where would I study? And I was headed to UGA, University of Georgia. There was a fellow there who was studying insect physiology and insect behavior and some pretty cool stuff. But grad school could be pricey. It would embarrass you at the the low prices that we were paying for credit hours back then, but it was a lot to me. So my wife and I moved down there where we would establish residency and then apply as a in-state for in-state tuition. But this was the early '80s, and we were in the throes of was it a depression? Either way, the economy was pretty tough. It was pretty hard to do stuff, and I couldn't even afford to get my transcripts sent. So just finding a job, any job, working at a gas station from 6 at night till 6 in the morning, writing letters home and signing them, "Your son, the gas station attendant," which uh, my parents helped a great deal with my college. So in retrospect, I don't know how well they would have appreciated that.
Were you newly married at that time?
Yes, I got married while I was in
Wow.
college, so I had been married for 2 years at that point.
That's a tough stint, I bet.
Oh, we were, we met on a program that was offered by the Biblical Research and Teaching Ministry that we're both part of, and where they send you to a town you never been to with people you don't know. You set up a little home fellowship and you support yourself, get a job, and make it
Oh,
work.
wow.
So we
Wow.
were pretty self-sufficient. We didn't feel like we needed a whole lot of anything to get on. That's God takes care of you. We did that, except here I am working at a gas station. Something's got to change. And what does an entomologist do in Georgia? It's a little more obvious that, well, there are pest management firms. I
Hmm.
interviewed. I applied at the largest two firms in town. The first one, a national firm, uh, they didn't have any openings for an entomologist.
Hmm.
We're Now, that's a branch and not the head office, which might have
Right.
been different, but and the second one, they didn't have any. They might have, and we might have room for a powder post beetle inspector in February. And
Right.
so, okay, I'm gonna try this
Mhm.
one more time, um, and and then bag it. The third one I went into was a small company out of they've long since sold, so they no longer exist. But it was started by a University of Florida entomologist who was a mosquito dipper in the war, in World War II. And so,
Can you explain what that means?
he was an Army entomologist, and their job was to go take care of mosquitoes so the soldiers didn't get sick and die. You you recently interviewed Stan Cope.
Yep.
This is did pretty much what Stan did, but a few decades earlier. He w
We hope to put that interview out too once it's sent to
Oh,
us.
Yeah.
so nobody's seen it yet.
No, recorded live at Purdue, so hopefully we get that soon and can
I
post
was
it.
there for it. Anyway, that is what this guy had done, and he was proud to have him, a
Cool.
Yankee trained entomologist, on his staff. So he put me on, and I never looked back. This was a delight. In college, I didn't know that urban pest management existed. I thought pest control was done by one company, and they had an army. Uh, so
Right.
that
Yeah.
was it. Um, in successive years, working for another small company out of Indiana, I went back to my alma mater to say, I could talk to students and show them what's out here. And so
Oh, cool.
we set it up. And when I got there, the only people in the room were one of my mentors and a friend of mine who was I guess, a postdoc there at that time. And they wanted to know, so what do you do in pest control? Do you like crawl under
Mhm.
people's houses and scare them that they have termites and have to pay a lot of money. Their view of our industry was that we were a bunch of charlatans, that we were taking advantage of people and doing stuff that didn't need to be done. So I spent the hour and a half talking about all the things we do and just how entomology this is. Boy, you go down south and termites aren't they're not just a notion. They're everywhere. You drop a toothpick and a
Right.
little white hand will come up and pull it under. Ah, it's it's heavy pressure. Michigan, not so much. But
Right. What brought you so you took a job from Georgia and you and your wife moved to Indianapolis for a
yes,
little while?
it was a
Okay.
great company. It was a great start. I got to meet some of the real heavies, Bill Blasingame, Billy Blassingame's dad, and Dr. Harry Pratt, um, and some other folks. Just fabulous as I learned pest management from the ground up. Um, but I knew that this will never get me where I want to be. I'm not going to work small town, small place. Let's go bigger than this. So I ended up interviewing. I applied to a bunch of companies because they were all looking for technical help in the back of the magazine, and
Mm.
I took a job with the company that had been started by Lee Truman of Truman's Scientific Guide. Perhaps this
Yeah.
was the guy. I was delighted. Well, let's do that. So I took the job there. It was a larger company. Yeah, look at that.
Oh,
Nope. Look at
cool.
that. I keep it on my
Look at that
shelf.
plug.
Look at that.
That Lee Truman. He was a great old guy, and he taught me a lot.
So cool.
He had
Ugh.
sold the business by that time, but he was still there as a consultant, so I was able to spend some time with him, and it was from there that I ended up going to Rose. But
Huh. So, because your career is kind of taking off, was there ever any thought in your mind, maybe I will go back to my alma mater, study entomology at in a higher sense, or no, my career is taking off. I'm getting jobs. This is
oh
great.
no, I had thought I should go back, get an advanced degree, and I was serious enough about it that and I was probably in my 40s at the time, thinking I could go do this, but it's always pretty busy. And in
Mhm.
retrospect, I don't think it would have added significantly to what I do. And if it had changed the trajectory of my career, I I'm not certain it could have been for the better. This has been
Mhm.
better than I would have ever guessed, ever
Yeah.
dreamed.
Yeah, because you've got to see so much change at Rose. So, what year did you start at Rose? And then, can you just talk about all the changes that you've seen that you've been able to contribute to?
Oh,
I think that's what all of us dream of is just being able to actually help a company grow. It's just the best.
yeah, there were a number of things when I got there in 1987, not so long ago, really, not really.
No.
Um, it was still paper tickets and sprayers, and a sprayer and a duster were the two pieces of equipment that a technician would use most. Uh, a bellows duster and a B&G 1 gallon handheld compressed air sprayer. We went from there. Things moved. The first thing that we were really looking at doing was moving away from what everybody did, which was spray baseboards. Everybody did it. Uh, but this is not the best way to go about things. At that time, a company called Whitmire, and it's all of the products from there are now part of the BASF line. But
Okay.
Whitmire had come out with a precision treatment system, so pressurized containers, coiled hose, and
Mhm.
a injection gun, and you place things precisely instead of spraying all over the place. It was not immediately well taken in the industry in that it didn't look like what we were used to doing. For those who oversaw companies, it looked expensive. And it certainly could be if you didn't do it right, but it was clearly the way of the future. And I remember doing that. It's a long, hard slog getting people to stop doing the easy method. It's showy, spraying a baseboard. You just walk around, you spray this stuff. The reason that we did that is when my first boss came back from the war, World War II, they had cyclodienes, and all you had to do was walk around a room and spray the baseboards, and all the bugs would die, and they would stay dead for a pretty good long time. So it was difficult to convince people that there's a better way of doing things, better way of going about it. And it just carried over. And as with all humans, we don't change easily. Baits came out, cockroach baits. This was was it the first biggest? I think that was the first biggest change. And getting people to change uh, was difficult. We came out, okay, here's what you got to do. This is why this is going to work. But you get a lot of skeptical faces throughout the offices that we had. And there was one memorable office where I'm talking about cockroach baits, and you can do this. I'm a punk. I couldn't have been, but I think I'm in my 30s, early 30s at this point. Apologies to all you who are in your early 30s, but punk.
I think that's just me.
It's just look.
It's
That's my biggest hot takeaway from today. Shep called me
there
a
we
punk.
go. Well, for the record, in your 50s, you will be at the top of your game, and if you don't think so when you get there, just spend a couple hours with some 20 somethings, and you will realize the value of 20 years, 30 years of adult experience. So
I'm with you, Shep. I'm pushing there. I'll be 50
you
this year, but I've realized that like every decade's, but you always think like the decade you're in is the best one until you get to the next one, and then you're like, no, like this is way better than that, and I continue to feel that way. I'm looking forward to
Cool.
being the grizzled veteran. I recently realized I'm no longer the young guy in any room that I walk in, which is a little weird. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm looking forward.
I
to
was
it,
always the
so.
young guy. I went to school at kindergarten age 4. I have a November birth, so he's going to turn 5 any minute
I'm
now.
August, so same thing.
So I have been with older people all my life, up until now. Now I find myself frequently the oldest person in the room.
So, Shep, let me ask you a question. You know, you mentioned the folks that you know you were able to meet with and get exposure to early on in your career. You know what I mean? We talked about Truman Show, the book. When I walked into that very first University of Kentucky Directors Retreat, I walked into a room and like you were there. Pat Hollow was there. So for me, that was very akin to the experience that you had. Have you thought about the impact you've had on this industry in your time in it? Like, do you ever sit back and go, I've done some pretty cool things? Jimmy, like you are a big, everybody knows Shep. You know what I mean? Like I had never met you, but I knew of Shep. So do you
will
ever
we
think
have a
about
book?
what
Our
was that?
book future will be by Shep, right?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
that'll be the big one.
So have you thought about your impact on the industry?
I have. It's difficult. Working at the gas station, the car broke down, and I found myself walking into work 2 hours, an hour's walk there, hour's walk back. Lots to think about. I'd applied for the positions, thinking about entomology and that. When I got there, my prayer was, let me be someone who helps move this industry into the next century, not knowing if it was ever anything I could achieve or even get close to. But God has blessed me in all that I've done, and I've been able to meet the people. I met all the people that I saw as mentors and pillars of the community, and what allows me to stand on the shoulders of giants, and the view is great from from up here. So what I do, I gotta say, my impact on the industry. Sometimes, how do you know about everybody knows Shep? How do they? I know I've spent a lot of time speaking and stuff, but is that what did it?
I think it's that you were, part of, for me, it was the Copasan Technical Committee, right? Like I wasn't part of that, but people that I worked with were. And then you start to hear about people that are, talking about moving the industry in directions, right? You know what I mean? And embracing new technologies. And that's the one thing that I will say is that I feel like, although I haven't known you, what's going on 6 years now, you've always been one to embrace the new, right? And what's next. At least that's the impression that I get from our interactions. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of it was that. But then, like I said, to your point, articles you've written for PMP and PCT, just those kind of things over time, and you start to see, like I said, there are certain names in this industry, that pop up more and more, and they're looked to as a resource for continuing this industry and the knowledge in this industry. And I think that you're definitely one of those folks. So
Kind
Yeah,
word.
I think it's more than that too. Shep is always you'll always invite people. You're an
yeah,
inviter. So you bring people together, much like Pat. Pat has the same quality. And Shep's always the one who gives me the Pi Chi Omega card for the free drinks to get into those with. So, but you're that person. You like to bring people together, and I don't think it's clearly not just about the bugs for you and the boy who liked to play outside. It's you love people.
I do. I absolutely. And
Yeah.
those are kind words, and it is wonderful to hear that you have that you've done well in your industry, that kind of thing. So that that means a lot to me. Uh, and certainly, I think you get farther working with people than working against them or competing.
It's cool too because Rose has allowed you to go to so many events throughout the year to meet people so that uh, when did you start using Shep? Have you always been Shep?
No,
Is that a
no,
family
and my
thing?
mother calls me Mark. I'm to all my family, I'm Mark, which but
Sure.
no,
so that would feel weird to call you Mark. I don't know. I don't think I can ever do it. That would be
He
weird.
called everyone in his family, he calls his mom Shep, and yeah,
Right.
everybody's Shep.
everybody. Oh no, my dad was Shep, and the
Okay.
way the story goes, it had she had known him a while before my mom learned his full name. He was Ara Sheperdigian, but he went by Shep and mononymous. People only knew him by one name. So like my father before me, and interestingly enough, my younger son goes by Shep almost exclusively. So, but
Cool.
I became Shep in high school when I realized something's got to change because my life wasn't where I needed it to be, and I left Mark behind, and I became Shep, like my father before me. A little personality, a little spice. Let's go out there and do well.
So it was in high school whenever you decided and you would meet someone new when you introduced
Oh yeah.
yourself, you would say, "I'm
Oh
Shep."
yes. Yes. And yeah, hi, I'm Shep.
Cool.
But it's not my government
Uh,
name, so a lot of people they have a hard time getting by that. Don't call me Mark.
well, it's not too hard to pronounce.
Mark's the tall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's Vito. I
who's
don't know.
Vito?
I don't call him Mark either. He's just Vito. So
And we are talking about Mark Vanderwerp, part of the Matic group, who is 6 foot.
He
Anybody
says
know?
6'6", but I put a 6'6" notch on the door, and I don't know. I think he's a little more than that, but
yeah,
We'll have to get him on so he can confirm.
that's
So,
funny.
how many events do you go to per year, Chef, to just support the industry?
not as many as I used to. But yeah, back through the bulk of the career, and you go to NPMA, you go to Pest World, you go to ESA, you go to the state meetings, and I would go to several. There was a while there where I spent a lot of time speaking. So throughout the region, actually, in across the country, um, training these days, if you can do training well, pe- people will ask for you. So, and um, if I can do anything, it's present something without it being boring.
You do a good job at that. I took a picture in Indiana there at Purdue of the zombie.
Oh yeah,
Big old zombie on the screen. That was my
there
favorite.
there you go. Well, and that was the topic, is how to put on training so that people want to come and listen. And if I've done anything really well, I hope it is that. You can't please everybody, so there's some people go, I don't know, man. I slept through a couple of his talks.
No, I like that one though. The zombie is said to look alive, so
Yes.
I'll remember that one. But I wonder, now that you're in this position, how have you kind of trained the trainer, so to speak, so that you're training other people in your company to be those technical voices or those training voices? What are some ways that you've been able to do that and have success?
Well, and you had mentioned that Rose has always made it available for me to be out and to help, and to participate in associations and other groups. And I can't understate uh, the benefit that has been to me, is just to get out there and work with people. And to this day, we try to stay well staffed with technical folks. We work to help our people do their best to be at training, train the trainer, that kind of thing. But people are people, so some of them are pretty good at it, some of them aren't. We have been blessed with a number of really talented folks, so I have no worries about the long-term future of this company, replete with some real talent.
Cool.
Anybody else in the family following in Shep's footsteps?
No. You mean I have two
No.
boys, and neither of them are
Yeah.
in pest management, or even biology. My youngest has spent 11 years teaching high school physics,
Wow.
and he married a gal who is currently, uh, and she may end up seeing this one day. She is currently the QA manager for a food plant in the Midwest. She's one of
Oh,
our
cool.
people.
Yeah.
Yes, one of
That's
us.
right. So, and my elder son he's a software engineer. Ones and zeros.
Yeah, not my forte.
No. We had that conversation in our December one. Neither one of my kids want anything to do with what I do. They're off on their own path, doing their own thing. So I get it. I get it. So
Mine's only a year and a half, and right
yeah,
now,
you get
whenever
some
he sees
time
the
yet.
bug, huh?
You still get some time yet. You still have the
There's time
opportunity to be
yet.
old.
Well,
He's seen just the overwintering ladybugs, lady beetles, get on the walls, and I'll point him out and go, "Look, what's that?" And he goes, "No, no." So we got to change that to a yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Both my boys, and they grew up outside, and they would have to be. So they're very much at home with biology and what's alive out there. When they were really young, 2 and 3 years old, uh, in an attempt to ensure that none of them would be arachnophobic to any degree, I would teach them, make a fist, pound the spider, and which they did, and it always got the same reaction. And you can stop pounding now; it's just a little wet spot. But But they learned really quickly that something that small poses zero danger to you. And that there's no reason to be anything but fascinated. They got to the point where if they found something alive, they would bring it home and can we keep it?
Shep, have you ever been asked, and Mike, you've probably been asked this too, but I get some people outside of my realm in pest control that ask me how I can reckon with working in pest control and being an entomologist. Have you ever been asked that?
Because
Like,
the
how can I
thing that
kill bugs for a living?
I always say they'll make more. Do you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, I promise you they will make more.
That
I
So
usually go the public health
that's
route.
fair.
yeah,
I usually point out that you know, we we'll talk them out of it if we can. Exclusion and sanitation and all that. But if they won't listen to reason, we will use the rough stuff. And that
Mhm.
to be honest, I don't like killing insects. I love insects. Uh, there are some that I will kill without compunction. Houseflies and mosquitoes and German cockroaches and bed bugs does not bother me at all. Some of those animals that you see are just wonderful. Some of the insects we run into, and those you I want to keep them alive. I I have insects on my right now,
Right.
livestock. So come live with me. It's like a retirement
the
plan.
spotted lanternfly. The spotted lanternfly is one I struggle with because it's an
Wow.
absolutely beautiful insect. It's just stunning. You know what I mean? So, but then when you get to like, I spent some time in Pittsburgh last summer, and there were so many of them that you could not walk down the street in downtown Pittsburgh without them hitting you in the face. I'm like, okay, so we need a modicum of control here, right?
No doubt
I
about it.
get it.
And as an entomologist, the vast majority of the pests, insect pests that we deal with, actually all the pests that we deal with, they're introduced. You couldn't name 3 major urban pests that are native to North America. I don't think. Well, you'd be a couple. Carpenter ants are native. Carpenter ants and subterranean termites.
Contention rights. Yep.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I even remember back in college and in grad school when we had to pin the insects. I felt so bad when I killed a Luna moth, this beautiful, gorgeous Luna moth. When we were, it was at night and we had the lights up and everything. And I had my butterfly net and whooshum. And it's on my desk now. And I still, if I look over at it, I feel a little guilty, but it's mostly when I go to schools and I'm teaching the kids about insects and I bring my specimen case of all my pinned insects and they go, Miss Jen, are they dead? And that just kind of, you just got to tell these 5-year-olds, yep,
Yeah.
yes, they
They're
are.
dead now.
It's for
I
science.
frequently, when I do that kind of thing, it's an invitation to immortality. We're going this, and where are all the other Luna moths that were born from the clutch of eggs of your Luna moth? They're gone.
They're
Mm,
eaten, decomposed.
That's
You know what
it.
I mean? Yeah.
Yep, recycled. This one, however,
mhm.
is still fascinating people. So I was there. There's that, and the fact that these are insects. These are this is our R and K strategy. Do we biology? Our strategist, lots and lots of babies, and someone will get through. The
Mhm.
one of my wiser mentors once said to me, "There's no such thing as an endangered insect, only an endangered habitat." So as long as the
Mhm.
habitat is there, you cannot get rid of the insect.
Yeah.
And if you can, it's because there was insufficient habitat. So I thought about that, and I thought,
Yeah.
because you hear this as we see insects that are on the endangered list, and we think, man, why can't we not save these? But their habitat's going away. And then we look at things like bed bugs and German cockroaches, and why can't we get rid of them? Well, we could. We just have to get rid of their habitat. And that is humans. So, as
Mhm.
long as they're humans, there's going to be the pests we deal with.
Any of the synanthropic pests, they're not going anywhere, right? As long as we're around, they're going to continue to thrive, right? So,
We sustain
we
them.
talked a little bit about hobbies, a little bit. Photography. Talk to me a little about that. I always see you with the camera.
Yes.
Is that something that you got into early on? Do you do a lot of insect photography, or is that just like I just like to capture the moment kind of thing?
I do. I do. Yeah, I do a lot of insect photography. It's one of those things that I love it. Um, I spend as much time as I can doing it, but I don't seem to be getting a whole lot better. And all my career, I have hung out with people who are really, really, really good. Um, the late Gene White, with
Yep.
whom I spent a great deal of time, was just incomparable. The shots he took of insects were just incredible. And of course, Upmatic's own Tom Myers, who world
Mhm.
class in that. So
Huge contributor to mhm.
yes, and so I do love photography, but I just wish I were better at it.
I feel the same about photography as I do with golf. Is you chase that one good shot and then you get it and you're like, all right, that was awesome. And then you take a bunch of really bad ones. I'm the same as you. Like if I get one out of like 300 that actually isn't terrible, I'm pretty psyched
But
about it. So
one good drive can sustain you. Oh yeah, I
exactly, right.
remember that
That's
time
why
I
we
hit.
keep going back out. It's
That's how
also
I feel
easy.
with macro photography. It is a pain. It is enjoyable, but it is kind of like fishing. You need ample time and
Lots
patience.
of time and patience, no doubt. And the
Mhm.
best
Mhm.
photographers have a lot of patience and spend more time doing it than I do.
Mhm.
I also think that both those things, golf and photography, it's just a reason to be outside. You know what I mean? In nature, doing something, and we all use it. It's just sort of to me, it's just an excuse to walk in the woods and you know, kind of do that. So
No doubt.
Speaking of golf courses and insects, the midges that come off of properties like HOAs that are next to golf courses because of the fertilizer and different runoffs that affect the water. I feel like I get so many calls from those every single year. There's tons of mosquitoes all around my doors. And then you look at Google Maps and they're right next to a golf
Oh
course.
yeah,
Like,
it
hmm,
happens.
hmm,
And
so interesting.
ah, the human environment, we change things. Yeah, we want lots of
Mhm.
grass, uh, which in some areas that may make more sense than other areas. I I think we imported lawns from Britain, the UK, where it's always damp and the grass outcompetes everything else. To here, where the grass can barely scratch out a living, and you really have to water the heck out of it to get it to go, and it just
Mhm.
changes everything.
Mm.
interestingly enough, lawns started as a show of wealth. It showed that you had so much money that you didn't have to plant crops on it. So you
Oh.
could have these large open green spaces of just lawn that you didn't have to use for farming. We're going back to like feudal Europe times. But it was a display of opulence to have a
Oh.
lawn. So
I was never instilled with those values, easily attested by by my front yard.
we
Good
have
for you. You are sustaining the overwintering insects, Shep.
exactly right. I'm okay. I say it every year. I'm okay with clover and dandelions and all of those things. Like I don't need my grass to be, you know, golf course green. I really don't. And if there's some weeds in it, so be it. It is what it is. It's an environment.
I think there is a shift coming too with the younger generation, and if they can afford a house and have one, are lucky enough to have one to kind of protect the pollinators. I do see a lot of posts about that. Leave your lawn the way it is, let the leaves accumulate. Just if it's on our end, we say keep it away from the house. 18 inches, two
Right.
feet.
Plus, the clover lawns, it's low maintenance. You don't have to cut the grass all the time. It only
Mhm.
grows to a certain, height and then kind of
Well,
stops. So
it's
there's relatively low maintenance.
no mow
Mhm.
May. They want you to
Yeah.
let it
Right.
flower, and the bees will use it. But
Yep.
Yep.
So I know, Shep, that you gotta run at 10:30. So any parting pearls of wisdom that you wanna share with the audience? Anything that you have learned over the course of your career that has stuck with you? Anything along those lines?
Pearls of wisdom. My goodness, there's a lot of wisdom out. How about some original verse?
I love
Would
it.
love
Let's
that.
go.
We let's. I do love poetry, and so there needs to be original verse. So uh, let's see what have I got some over here.
And we've even gotten maybe that is your original poetry in some of our email threads.
Oh,
You do that just off the cuff?
certainly.
Very
And
impressive.
and so after what decades of sitting through state meetings of training sessions for CEUs, you can always learn something. And my best mentors were always that way. There's always something to learn. Taking copious notes. They have more stamina than I do. I just, after a while, all right, let's listen for anything that we don't recognize, and then let's just write poetry based on what's coming out. So, uh, carpenter ants. Carpenter ants ain't got no pants and only a single node. They chew up wood, but not for food. They're just trying to make an abode.
Ooh.
I like it. I like it. You incorporate that. You should incorporate that in your training. I think honestly, like if I had some, you need these sort of mnemonic devices to remember things. At least I do. I like that.
Oh, absolutely. Wherever I can, you want people to remember something, and if you can put it in verse, who knows? Maybe they'll do better with it.
And that's why people remember you, Shep.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, thank
Awesome.
you so much. It's been a pleasure. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Well,
Thank you for hopping on with
thank you,
us.
Jen. Thank you, Mike, for doing this. This has been fun. So, and I hope
Awesome.
hope it's entertaining.
It is entertaining and
Absolutely.
always fun.
There's never been a non-entertaining Shep interaction, at least in my experience.
Yeah,
So
let me not be boring.
exactly.
See you,
All
Shep.
right,
Thanks, Shep.
out of here.